Welcome to First United Methodist Church of Windsor for the warm-up session before worship service. It's meant for all ages, so please join us. My drive into the church this morning for the videotaping, I passed the roundabout at 7th on my way to the one that's towards Highway 34, and the two metal pelicans are having Christmas wreaths dangle from their beaks, and it really made me smile on my way in. So take a chance to drive by and admire the artwork. So today's word is peace, and last week's word was hope. So hope and peace. Next week is joy. But for today's piece, we're going to be using angels. I'm wearing the Christmas angel that was dropped off in the Advent family bags that were delivered. My story is called Angel May by Shirley Hughes. It's written by a woman in Great Britain, so some of the words are what the English would use, but I've tried to remember to insert the American word, so bear with me. So this is Angel May. May Morgan lived with her mom and dad and her big brother Frankie in the apartments on the corner of Trotter Street. May's grandma lived nearby, and soon there was going to be another person in the family because May's mom was going to have a baby. It would be born around Christmas time. Everyone was making preparations for the baby. Grandma was knitting little coats and booties. Dad was decorating the small bedroom. He painted the walls a beautiful yellow. Mom got out the old cradle that May and Frankie had slept in when they were babies, and she put a pretty new lining in it. Imagine us being small enough to sleep in that, said Frankie. May tried sitting in the cradle. She could fit barely if her knees were drawn up under her chin. May thought about the baby a lot. She looked into her toy chest and pulled out some of her old toys. She was hoping to have some lovely new things at Christmas, so she thought she would give the baby a few of her old toys. She didn't want to give away anything too special, like her best doll, Carol. She thought she could let the baby have her old pink rabbit and the duck who nodded his head and flapped his wings when you pulled him along. And there was the ball with the bell inside it. They were all too babyish for her now. Carefully, May put the rabbit, the duck, and the ball into the baby's cradle. "What are you putting those old toys in there for?" asked Frankie. "Well, our new baby will be much too small to play with those." And he told May that at first it would be a little tiny baby, not nearly big enough to play with toys, but he might like them when he's older, Frankie said. "How do you know it will be a he?" May answered crossly. Frankie said he didn't know, but he hoped it would be so he could teach the baby to play soccer. May slowly piled up her old toys and threw them on the floor beside the toy chest. The apartment where May and Frankie lived was on the 3rd floor. There was a good many stairs because there wasn't an elevator. Mom got tired carrying up the shopping. May got tired too. She wished she could be carried like a shopping bag. "Carry me, she moaned, drooping on the banisters at the bottom step. But Mom couldn't carry May and the shopping, and May was much too old to be carried anyway. After lunch, Mom sat down for a rest. Frankie put a cushion under her poor, tired feet. May moped about. She counted Mom's toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 10. Then she started to tickle her feet. But Mom didn't want her feet tickled just then. She lay back and closed her eyes, but May knew she wasn't really asleep. May went off to find her dad. He was getting ready to clean the car. He said that May could help if she liked, so together they went downstairs. Dad gave May a rag so she could polish the hubcaps, and May rubbed and rubbed until she could see her own face, and it looked a bit funny. "Do you think our baby will be a boy or a girl?" she asked. said Dad. But as there's you and Mom and Grandma in our family already, it would even things up if it was a boy, wouldn't it? He ruffled May's hair. You'd like to have a baby brother, wouldn't you? May said nothing. She just kept on polishing. At school, all the children were getting ready for Christmas. May's teacher, Mrs. Foster, helped them to make paper robins and lanterns to decorate the classroom. Then Mrs. Foster told everybody they were going to act in a play about baby Jesus being born, and all the Trotter Street moms and dads would be invited to watch. Nancy Jones was going to be Mary and wear a blue hood over her long, fair hair. And Jim Zielinski was going to be Joseph and wear a false beard. Frankie, Harvey, and Billy were going to be kings. They had gold paper crowns with jewels painted on them. May wanted to be a king too, but Mrs. Foster said the kings were boys' parts. May looked into the wooden box which Mrs. Foster had made into a manger for the baby Jesus. I'll be baby Jesus then, said May. She was sure she could fit into the manger if she tried very hard. But Mrs. Foster explained that they were going to wrap up a baby doll in a blanket to be baby Jesus. She said that May could be a cow or a sheep if she liked, but May certainly didn't want to be either of those. She stuck out her bottom lip and made a very cross face. Well, what about an angel, said Mrs. Foster. May didn't want to be an angel either. You could be the angel Gabriel, Mrs. Foster told her. That's a very special angel, a very important part. And May thought about this. Then she nodded her head. I'm going to be the angel God gave you, she told Frankie. Angel who? Said Frankie. Angel gave you, a very special angel. Angel gave you. I'm the angel gave you, she announced when Mom came to collect her. Gave you, sang May as she bounced along ahead at home. Angel gave you, shouted May, hugging Dad around the waist when he came home from work. Gave me what? Asked Dad. Just gave you, that's my name in the Christmas play. Will you come and see us in it? Frankie wanted to know. Dad said he wasn't sure, but he would try very hard. But when May and Frankie woke up on the morning of the Christmas play, neither Mom or Dad were there. Grandma was cooking breakfast. She told them that Dad had taken Mom to the hospital in the night because the new baby was going to be born very soon. Will they be back in time to watch me being the angel gave you? Asked May. I'm afraid not. I'll be there. When May and Frankie arrived at school, the big hall looked very different. There was a blue curtain at one end with silver stars all over it and one big star hanging in the middle. The smallest angels were going to stand on a row of chairs in the back. The animals were going to crouch down in front by the manger. And while the grown-ups were arriving, Mrs. Foster helped the children to dress. May had a little white pillowcase over her front and a pair of white paper wings pinned to the back. She was going to stand at the very end of the row because she was such a special angel. From high up, she could see all around the room. She could see all the moms and dads. Grandma was sitting in the very front row, smiling. Mrs. Foster sat down at the piano and all the children began to sing. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. Mary and Joseph sang, the angels sang, the animals sang. The shepherds came in and knelt down on one side of the manger. The three kings came in carrying presents for baby Jesus, and May sang very loudly. Then she saw someone coming in very late at the back of the room. It was Dad. He was smiling the biggest smile of all. May was so pleased to see him that she forgot she was in the play. She waved and shouted, "Hello, Dad! I'm being the angel gave you!" He put his fingers to his lips and waved back. But May was waving so hard that her chair began to wobble. And May wobbled too, and then she fell right off the chair. Bump! She hit the floor with a horrible crash, wings and all. Mrs. Foster stopped playing the piano. All the children stopped singing. Everyone looked at May. May held her arm where it hurt. She stuck out her bottom lip. She wanted to cry, but she didn't. Instead, she climbed up onto the chair again and went on singing. The stars in the bright sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep in the hay. Then all the people in the audience smiled and clapped a special clap for May for being so brave and not spoiling the play. Grandma clapped harder and louder than anyone. Good old angel gave you, said Dad when it was all over. Grandma gave Frankie and May a hug and said it was the best Christmas play she had ever seen. And then Dad said he had a very big surprise. They had a new baby sister born that morning, and Mom was going to bring her home in time for Christmas. When May and Frankie went to the hospital, they looked at the cot and saw their little tiny baby sister wrapped up in a white blanket. She had a funny little crumpled face, it was red, and a few spikes of hair that stood up and little tiny crumpled fingers. May liked the way she looked, and she liked the nice baby smell. She was pleased that the baby looked so funny. But most of all, she was pleased that Mom would be home in time for Christmas. The end. Now, in honor of angels, I brought two with me today, besides the one I'm wearing. This one's been in our family for about 44 years. My mother-in-law crocheted it for us years and years ago. And then I have this little wooden one. I have 3 of these little wood carved ones. Now I'm going to step over here and encourage you to look around your house. All of this stuff came from my house and my little art supplies. I have curly ribbon and I made angels. Here's the finished one. And this one I used blue cardstock. I added some of the doily. This is marker. I did the face. I used a little Tupperware container to make the circle. There's hands. This is kind of a different way to do it. Like I said, try to whatever you have at home. So a paper plate, I turned it this way, and then this one will go like so. And I did a little ribbon for her face. But these happen to be what I had at home. And what I'd like for you to try, so pardon me while I move on this side, what is to make your angel, put it on a string, and then you will move it each Sunday. So December 6th, and then on up, December 13th had a problem, up to December 13th, the 20th, and then on Christmas morning, your angel will be at the top and can shout out, Merry Christmas, baby Jesus is here. So enjoy the rest of the worship service. May God be with you all.